I think a lot of people. And that's so yeah.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who chose to be able to be out here with us today. This is an extremely exciting day for Rapid Parish for sure, but really for the entire state of Louisiana. A couple hours ago, State Superintendent Kate Brumley released the progress from the most recent year's assessments from the 23-24 school year. And for 3 years in a row, the state of Louisiana continues to make unprecedented progress in the growth and academic achievement of our students. And we're extremely excited to be able to stand here before you today representing the work that's being done right here in Rapid Parish Public Schools. And I'm proud to be flanked by the people that are leading our schools all across this district, as well as the district leaders and our board members who are the backbone of the success that's happening right here in Rapid Parish Public Schools. And so I want to take just a few minutes to go through some slides. Again, thanking everybody who's here to be with us. So many great partners in the work that we're doing. We can't do it without the support of the community that we have right here in Rapid Parish. And so thank you for being out here to celebrate this success with us. So we're going to go through these slides, and as we go through each slide, I want you to look at the people that are standing here with me, because they are the ones that are leading some extremely hard work throughout this school system to make sure that our students, the students of Rapid Parish, are provided the absolute best opportunities to achieve their maximum potential, which is part of what drives us each and every day. So the very first slide that I want to show you shows the progress that we've made over the last 5 years here in Rapid Parish. I know that there's been growth across this state, but over the last 5 years, the 6.5 points in growth in our district performance score shows that the work that we are doing, while it may be hard and while it may be tedious and while there are tears and stress at different times, it shows you that the CEOs that are standing behind me right here are leading in such a way that we have students performing at higher levels, producing more higher outcomes than we ever have before. And one more time, we've celebrated a little bit already, but I want to give them a huge when you dig into some of the specifics of our data points, and I'm trying to look to the slide and look at the top, the sheet you got here. So can we click to the next slide? So once again, each year we keep making history. We have a higher school performance score than we've ever had under the current accountability system as we continue to show growth. And actually the 2.2 points of growth this year is the highest year-over-year growth that we've had in an extremely long time. So we're super proud of that work. Also, we continue to lead, perform high. Our students continue to perform higher than students across the state. When we compare our data to the state data, we're performing in almost every indicator at a higher level. And specifically in this particular year, on 7 of the 8 reporting categories, we continue to grow without any decline. The next slide that you see right there is one of the ones that we are most proud of, because it's not just about how high our students are achieving, but are we growing our students? And when you look last year, we ranked 51st in the state in terms of how much we were growing our students. But when you look at this year's growth, we ranked 19th in growing our students. In addition to that, some of the other key indices that are part of the school performance score and the district performance score. I know sometimes we could spend 30 minutes just explaining to you what each one of these indices are, but our overall district performance score, as is shown right there, grew by 2.2 points, and all the different indices that are there show how much we're growing our students across this parish. One very specific indicator that I think the majority of people do understand is that the one that's related to ACT growth. And I see a lot of our higher ed partners and our community leaders that are in here. Rapides Parish continues to show growth in the area of ACT with an 18.8 point growth, 8.8 point growth in overall ACT index. And that's a testament to the hard work of not only what's going on in our high schools, but it's the work that our elementary schools and our middle schools folks are doing to prepare our students for that nationally recognized exam. And so I do want to give them a huge as you keep clicking through there, you'll see the different indices that pieces. So go to the next slide for me, Mary Helen. The next one. You can see that the progress that's been made over the last several years. This slide shows you from 2022 to 2024. Over the last 3 years, we've gone from 4 schools that were rated an F, given an F letter grade, down to 1 single school. And if you go back to 2019, there were 6 schools that were rated F, and now there's only 1 school that's rated an F in Rapides Parish. We're extremely proud of the hard work this morning. Specifically, where are you, Dr. Combs? She leads our work in our transformation zone as well as our transformation zone principals that have shown growth year over year. That is showing that our students can and will achieve as well or better than students all across this state and all across this country when we put the right systems in place to support the work of our teachers and support the growth of our students. So we're extremely proud of that work, and we still have a lot of work to do, but what the progress has been made so far is to be celebrated. So when we start digging into some of the individual school successes, we want to just kind of go through some of these and highlight some of the schools that showed tremendous year-over-year growth over from 2023 to 2024. So first of all, Bolton High School, Acadian Elementary, D.F. Huddle, and L.S. Rudd all grew by a letter grade. So that means you can see the numbers on there from C to a B, D to a C, F to a D, and F to a D. And where's Shannon McHugh at? Where are you? See that one? We talked about what some statisticians call some of the perennially struggling schools. What was your letter grade 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And what are you this year, Shannon McHugh?
Let's see.
Let's see. Hard work is paying off. Our students can and will achieve as well or better than students all across the state and all across this country. They're proving it each and every day. On the next slide, we start talking about some of the different indices and the schools that have highlighted some of the most specific growth there. So overall SBS growth, Bolton High School, Leslie Moore, Acadian Elementary, and DFL all grew by over 9 points. So the next one is, the next two are ones that we talk about a lot, because if you ask any of these people that are behind me or standing here with me today, it's what we exist for. We exist to educate children. We exist to grow them academically. There's a lot of other indices in there that are important, interest and opportunities and DCF, but we exist to grow students academically. And there's some highlights here when you talk about which schools grew the most in their assessment index. That's all those LEAP assessments that students are taking in grades K to 8. Leslie Moore, LS Rugg, DF Huddle, Glenmora all grew over 5 points from 1 year to the next in their assessment. Leslie Moore Elementary, Ann was named the principal over there almost 3 years ago now, I think, 2 years ago. Fourth year. But in the last 2 years, 37 points worth of growth. Tremendous work by her and her staff, and I know she gives her staff all the credit and the systems that they've put in place. Tremendous work going over there. Also in our high schools, look at that list of high schools. Peabody Mackin High, Pineville High, Northwood High, Glenmora High, Bolton High School, Alexander Senior High, Tioga High, all grew in their assessment. That's what matters the most. They are educating students at the high school level. When we talk about progress index, that's how much our students are actually growing, individual students from 1 year to the next. Acadian Elementary, DF Huddle, Glenmora, Rugg, Forest Hill, and Cherokee, they all grew over 6 points from 1 year to the next. The next two data points that are talked about in the slide are one is dropout credit accumulation index. One of the things that our elementary and our middle school and our combination schools do to try to make sure students are ready for high school so that they don't drop out, so they don't become some of the statistics that we read about, is we try to help them bank high school credit, and then when they get to high school, we try to make sure they have the number of credits in order for them to be successful, to be on track to graduate. That's what dropout credit accumulation index is. So when you see Plainview, Powell, Junior High, Northwood going over 4 points, they're making sure that our students are staying on track to graduate on time, and we send them to their. And that point and the next point, which is interest and opportunities, we talked about this a lot a few years ago when we first started having these press conferences. Interest and opportunities, the state put a piece in a form. It's not weighted very heavily, but it's how much opportunity are we giving our students to be involved in co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Most of us in this room, when we were younger, we were involved in a lot of things. And for a lot of us, that's what keeps us motivated to come to school. It's what keeps us motivated to behave right. It's what motivated us to keep our grades up so that we get trouble. So the state put a measure in place for interest and opportunities, and you can see the number of schools that increased dramatically in their offerings for our students. I commend our board, because we now pay teachers to help sponsor certain clubs and do all these extracurricular opportunities for our students. So with that, almost all of our schools are growing in those areas or maintaining, because they already maximize those points, and we know that's important. So remember what we talked about, what we exist for. Look at this next slide. When you talk about the work in our high schools, I'm just going to pause for a second so you can read what's on that slide. Jimmy, there's a lot of work we do to prepare students for whatever's next for them. Jeff, I know the work that you guys are doing on the higher ed side. The one assessment that we do in the state of Louisiana that is a nationally recognized assessment is the ACT. And if we want to measure whether or not our students are being prepared for whatever their next step may be in the higher ed side, it's how are we improving in ACT and what we use in the state of Louisiana in WorkKey. Look at those high schools, folks. When you talk about the assessment index of ACT, Oak Hill High School grew almost 30 points last year. Bolton High, 15.2 points. Buckeye High School, almost 13 points. Pineville High grew 10.7 points. Peabody Magnet High grew 8.3, and Ash grew 7.6 points. Folks, these are unprecedented numbers. So many different things Mr. Burns and the secondary staff doing, as well as the work that's going on in our middle schools and our elementary schools to make sure that our students are prepared to be successful on that type of an assessment. Again, unprecedented work. And the next two pieces are specifically tied to our graduation rates. We hover a little over 85% on our graduation rate, which over the last 10, 15 years Rapides Parish has mirrored the state in terms of our growth to make sure that more of our students that are entering ninth grade on time and then they're graduating 4 years later with the appropriate high school diploma, including the strength of diploma, making sure that they have dual enrollment if they're going to college, industry-based credentials if they're going to work. All of these different things play a role in making sure that our students are prepared to be successful right here in our local community, right here in Rapides Parish. And so we continue to celebrate the growth that's happening in our schools. These folks will tell you that we're not done yet. We've got so much work to do to make sure that our students are prepared to be successful. Look at the highlights of how many of our schools met what the state calls top gains. That means they are producing results where more and more students are performing at a higher level. 17 schools, each one of these schools will get a banner to hang so that they can proudly display it to their local community, how great they're going in schools, as well as the schools that have earned equity honorees. The next slide's got Caroline Dorman and Phoenix Magnet. All of these things, we'll be putting out some information that describe exactly what they are. But essentially what they are is a testament that our students, our teachers and our schools are not leaving children behind. They're doing whatever it takes to grow students to their absolute maximum potential. And the next couple of slides have to do with the success of our early child care centers. I'm not going to talk a lot about that because we're going to have another press conference or press release and the week after we come back from Thanksgiving, but I do want to come in. Ms. Cindy Rushing, we were actually at the town of Powell last night talking about the efforts of our early child care network. Folks, we lead the state in not just providing high quality early child care opportunities for students, but also in making sure that our businesses and our parents know that we have seats for them to the tune of, with our work with the Rapides Foundation and our community, Rotary, as well as others. We were able to raise right at $4.7 million last year to provide seats for over 300 more students, children in Rapides Parish, or actually surrounding parishes. They live there but work here, to be able to have high quality childcare so that we can improve our employment opportunities for folks as well as opportunities for those parents to go back to school if that's what they desire to do. As you can see, there's been a lot of progress in the work that's being done in our schools. I know we stand up here every year, we talk about the different things. Many of you come to our opening of schools meeting and we talk about the work that needs to get done. And these folks they continue to be committed to it each and every day. I can tell you, we talk with them, we visit with them, we go and visit their schools. We're having conversations with teachers right now about how hard we know the work is. But the fruits of the labor are evident in the data that we're able to stand up here and show you. And we want you as a community, Azar, thank you for being a representative of the governor's office. And for all the support that you give. We ask for hard things. We go out and ask for bonds and to improve our facilities, and you support that. We ask you to help us with dual enrollment. We ask you to help us with industry-based credentials. We ask you for all of these things. Judge Lamford, who's here, works with our Child Welfare and Attendance Office so closely to make sure that we're addressing things like truancy. There's so much going on in our community because we believe that the students of Rapides Parish can and will achieve as well or better than students all across this state and all across this country. We believe that our teachers, the ones who are in the trenches working with our students each and every day, they're the ones, Mayor, that are going to lead these students to these extremely high levels of success. But we also believe that these folks that are right here, the principals, the school building leaders, the lead teachers, the assistant principals, they're the ones that are leading these teachers each and every day. I tell them all the time, the hardest job in education is a school building principal. They are the face of their community. They lead a group of people face to face every single day, and they're responsible for not just the safety and the protection of all of those folks in the community, but they're responsible for making sure that our students are growing to their maximum potential, and they do it. And then the last thing we talk about, what we believe that our parents and our want to support, they want to celebrate it. And you've shown that today by being here with us. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for your support all through the years. Thank you for your continued support. Let's continue to show the world that Rapides Parish truly is better together. Thank y'all. Well, media partners that are here, look, y'all can interview all these friends.
You're giving permission, right, Jeff?
Yeah. Hey, before y'all leave, Jessica, let's get a picture.